I apologize for slacking on this channel, but if you watch me, you know I've been after it. I drove 45 minutes back home to get that 15-minute video before driving 45 minutes back to that party. And I'm going to keep on getting after it and keep on bringing it to you. And we're going to have some good shit, okay? And once I get Pinto and everybody else on here, this channel's probably going to be a little bit funnier than the other one, because I'm just going to say a little bit whatever. But I need y'all to do me a favor, because it's mostly the people. It's mostly my solid people, you know. Like, if y'all here, I mean, for real, you've probably been with me since the start. Or, I mean, you just really like my shit. Because, you know, I mentioned this a bunch of times, and a whole bunch of fucking people seen it, but they didn't click the fucking link. I figured it'd have a couple more by now. It was grandiose thinking, I reckon. I really didn't. I figured it'd probably take about 3 months before I get up to 1,000. But anyway, it's got completely separate everything. Email address, everything else. So, God forbid the unthinkable would happen, you know. With the primary channel, this is a backup place. So, you know, I'm always about backup plans. Plan B, you know. Gotta have a plan B. You know, I learned how to fight, but back before I learned how to fight, I had an equalizer, you know what I mean? Slaying that chili powder in that motherfucker's eye, that David Hasselhoff looking son of a bitch, missing a front tooth, with an overgrown mullet. Man, I thought that motherfucker, man, I mean, somebody gonna be saying that type of shit. I mean, he got what he had coming, but everybody laughed like a motherfucker. Got me a little respect. But anyhow, I need help with something in particular. What are the rules for, let's say, you know, I've seen people do videos about growing weed on YouTube before, but what are the particular rules? What can you do? What can't you do? Does anybody know? I suck at technology. Jesus, buddy, are you humping a pillow over there? My God. Thought his nuts getting chopped off will be the end of that shit. But no. He didn't get blessed. He got a little white dick and big old black balls. He's a black and white dog, you know. It's just the color pattern it had, and that's, you know, it's unfortunate. It's what happened to the little man. But anyway, what are the rules on YouTube with growing wheat, that type of thing? I also have something else. It's called a T500. Ironically, I don't like to smoke weed. I haven't in a decade, and I just don't like it. I like everything else in excessive amounts. Not weed. I love growing it though. It's like an art to it. Same thing with making liquor. Low temps, like low temperatures. Temperature has so much to do with so many different things when it comes to growing or alcohol, distilling alcohol. Like popcorn suck, he boiled his alcohol off at low temperatures. Takes a whole lot longer. It's more aggravation, but tastes better. I had a 5-gallon bucket wide the hell open, and I'd let people stand over top. Now you couldn't lean down, you just had to stand right over top of it and see if you smell it. You couldn't smell it. Full to the top. Something else that might interest you, because I kept thinking I was reading the instructions wrong. It said superized yeast, 8 pounds of sugar. I'm like, well, where's the fruit? How's it going to turn into alcohol? You don't need fruit to make alcohol, okay? Superized yeast, it costs like $3, like a little thing like this, like $3 to $5. 2 of them, and you know, I'd usually put 12 pounds. Well, I'm an addict, so they give me a recipe. I want to do, obviously, in excess of the recipe, because I figure, well, more is better. Not always. But anyway, the temperature is a big part of that. So the mash in the superized yeast, the sugar, it creates alcohol in like 3-4 days max. And after that, you can put it in this T500. Now, ultimately, it hooks up to a sink or a bathtub. Cold water goes in, and it comes out the other side. It cools the coil. Okay, alcohol boils at a lower temperature than water. So when the alcohol evaporates, you have to cool it back down to turn it back into a liquid form. So that's the process. That's all making liquor is. That's all it is. It's not that difficult. T500 simplifies it. The adapters suck ass. I mean, all this, I mean, it must be some British shit or some fancy home shit. I mean, I've had to do some ghetto shit to rig this motherfucker up. But I'll make it happen. You know, I'm going to make it happen one way or another. I found roughly 16 to 18 ounces in and out, going, you know, into a cup per minute is the appropriate amount for like the lowest temperature possible. Now, in prison, you get clear liquor, but it'll smell like the nastiest whiskey. I mean, that stuff that, you know, the connoisseurs drink that's got like the burnt wood and stuff in it. I don't get that shit. I mean, I never understood that. It's got character, it's got flavor. I mean, shit. It's alcohol. You're drinking it. Does the same shit. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, the different form of, you know, yuppie hipster motherfuckers. And, you know, sorry if you like the shit, you know what I mean? But, I mean, if you're paying that much extra for the same shit that people can make for nothing, you know, then, I mean, what are you going to do? Now, if it's absinthe, that's an exception. Absinthe, you know, Van Gogh, they blamed on Van Gogh, you know, cutting his ear off, giving it to the hoe as a gift. My ear's red. Wow. But anyway, I think he had some other underlying issues there. Absinthe is allowed in the U.S., but it can't have thujon, which is the active ingredient in the wormwood plant. I mean, what the fuck was the point? It's still illegal. I saw it in the liquor store. I was happy as a son of a bitch. You know, I got it when I was about 15 years old. There's one worked for my mom. And she had his boyfriend was alcoholic. All he drank was absinthe. And he'd get the bottle with the wormwood branch in it. And he'd get it from Jade Liqueurs. I've got quite the memory. Okay. This has been, God, it's been 18 years. I still remember that. Jade Liqueurs is where he got it from. It costs like $120 a bottle, but when he'd buy like 4 at a time, he'd get it as low as 80 sometimes, 100 a piece. That's all he'd drink. And yeah, I mean, I was 15. I'd never really drank it all. I mean, I'd snorted a whole mountain of coke and done a bunch of heroin, but I don't think I'd ever really drank liquor before. It's harder to get. I know that sounds funny, but like the dope dealers, they'd sell you some dope. I had that shit, it's gonna make money. But talking them to drive just 2 blocks to the liquor store, man, they were some lazy motherfuckers. Couldn't bribe them sons of bitches to get you some liquor as a kid. I mean, shit. That's some crazy stuff, but that's the truth. So anyway, this dude, he drove a Subaru WRX, and he had one of them goatees went down like this. And he was he's probably about 5, he's about my height, probably about 5'9", but he's like 140 pounds, you know. Till he thought he's ripped. And I'm like looking at him, I was like 160 pudgy at the time, and I'm like, if I wasn't fat, I'd look like you. And I'm a kid. Yeah, so he thought highly of himself there. But anyway, he just drank this shit all day long. And that was my first experience with absinthe. I'd buy it off of him. But despite not really, I don't drink liquor. I don't enjoy it. Now, beer, yeah, occasionally. Not liquor, okay? You can drink beer, and at the end of the night, you can drink 20 ounces of water, assuming you're not going in extreme excess, in which you're just doomed if you can't help that. And you can have a normal day the next day. Liquor, no. I've done that many, many times. Trying to find the right amount of fluids to replenish to get it out. It just dehydrates you too bad. I mean, you feel like, man, you feel like just straight shit. God forbid you got something to do that day. You're fucked. Yeah, no. But beer, I mean, shoot, you could drink 6 beers, drink 20 ounces of water, and yeah, sleep it off, feel normal, have your day the next day. But I don't like liquor. Don't like weed. When I was younger, I used to like to eat it. I hated to smoke it. And come to find out now, they have actually found scientific evidence, you know, that when you smoke it, versus eating it, it it actually, your brain processes it differently, like a completely different drug. And I used to say that back then, and some people would argue with me, and I'm like, nah. But see, back then I would just eat a raw bud. Now apparently that shit's got a lot of fiber. Man, it feel like I was shitting a brick. I remember like my butt, and I seen blood on the toilet paper. She had so much fiber, it'd rip your asshole. That's fucked up. Yeah, but I'd eat those buds. It helped me sleep. I had sleeping problems back then. I ain't, going to eat some bud and rip my asshole open. Or as the South spot, rip your asshole. I ain't going to do that. No, I ain't going to do that. But, I mean, if they had some sort of edible alternative to these 4 medications I take, that if I don't take, I don't get any sleep. If I do take, I have to lay in bed 11 hours to get 6 hours of sleep. And I wake up on average 8 times a night. I mean, I say 4 to 8. It's usually 8. It sucks. PTSD is a motherfucker. Okay? On the other channel, I'm trying to talk about stuff like this, the mental health issues, try to be open with this stuff. And, before, if I talked about this, somebody'd say something smart. That's the cool thing, about having a little success in competition and shit and learn how to fight. If somebody says something now, like before, I'd be like, I'd get mad and I'd say something back, and then, but now I'm just like, you can't kick my ass, so fuck you. Justin Bieber like a motherfucker. I mean, you're probably a Justin Bieber like a motherfucker. I mean, you're self-loathing, so you're probably, that's probably what you, cry yourself to sleep to. If you're one of those people who just comes on and talks shit. I'm on a little bit of a rant tonight. I couldn't really keep thoughts in one path. These lives have been kicking my ass, man. They've been fun, and it's got deep. Oh, it got deep, man. I talked to him the other day before that live, and me and him, it was like we were instant brothers. You just meet people and like, we're gonna be best friends. Want to do karate in the garage? Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's that type of dude. You know what I mean? Hopefully be getting up here this week. That'd be some fun shit. I'm telling you, man. You get me and him together, we're gonna have some fun, man. That's a good dude. And I'll tell you something else, Casey. See, I have the accent because a woman from Tennessee watched me when I was little, but I'm not country. I never went hunting, ever. When I went fishing, I wasn't good at it. I fell in and got laughed at by my hillbilly cousins. It fucking sucks ass. Fucking, of course, the heel slides out. I fall in the water like, yeah, city boy. And I'm like, eat shit. But anyway, so I'm a city boy in the country whenever I live down there. And then in Roanoke, I'm the country guy. So, basically I'm Edward Scissorhands. I don't belong anywhere, so I want to go back up on the mountain. That'd probably be where this shit ends at some point or another. There's some other type of fucking alternative at some point. Probably, get the crew of y'all that I like. If stuff ever gets, good enough to where, I can just do whatever the fuck, and I don't have to worry about shit. I'm not leaving the handful of people that have become like family to me on here. I used to say I don't have friends. I don't want friends. Y'all sons of bitches. Y'all change that shit. I've got some great people on here. I've been talking a lot of crazy shit tonight, but like, I'm really, really grateful. It's turned out to be everything I wished it would be. I thought it was impossible. I thought, too many trolls. The internet's a fucked up place. It won't work. You got this idea, where people will bring people up when they're feeling down. And, that shit ain't gonna work, that ain't gonna work. That's not gonna fucking happen, people suck. But apparently, when you have the internet, people find places where they fit, and then some people just find places to complain about whatever they can or try to act like they're an expert in anything or everything. So many people talk about, that never worked in a street fight. And I'm like, man, when's the last time your ass was in a street fight? Well, if you were at the club, I don't go to the club. Do I look like I club? My hair yesterday looked like two squirrels fucking on top of it, okay? Do I look like I give a shit about that? I put hair gel in my fucking hair and go out, fist pump the shit. Now, if there's a rave, like Prodigy, that Diant, where that's some wild shit, now I'd go to that. But, like that Jersey Shore shit, I mean, that's some weird motherfuckers right there. That's some odd people right there. Some odd individuals, yeah. See, Casey, my high school crush, I'm with her. We're good. She don't like people either, so, we're good. Now, Weavy and her are going to be funny. I'm getting her to come on here and talk with him. Because, see, she grew up in that area. She knows that foreign language that they speak. They make up their own fucking words. Yuns. That means, like, you all. Or you ones. Yuns. Yuns better go there to do that. And all this other stuff. And, they don't say tire. They say tar. But, I mean, I say stuff like that, too. I call somebody Ryan. But I say Ron, and they think I'm saying Ron. I probably do say Ron. It's kind of like when you hear a recording back of yourself, and you're like, do I fucking talk like that? And, apparently I talk like Billy Bob Thornton. Probably, I don't know if it's because I'm like, unenthused with shit, or just all this new generation shit, just I seem grumpy about it or whatever. Or if it's just my voice. But, I mean, it's been a constant nickname in prison. That was a constant nickname, was Billy Bob. Billy Bob, MMA guy, karate, and Taz. Taz was the one that stuck. And, that was one that just stuck. And it was odd because, I got back to low. It ended up really catching at the medium. When I got back to low, there were a lot of people that never ended up calling me that. But at the medium, there were a couple guys that got sent over there that had been calling me that. So that became something that stuck. And, it was an odd nickname, But it was because of the one fight I got in, it was a lot of luck, being honest. I didn't have a technical ability that I have now, and even then I'm not, an expert by any means. And I've got a grasp. And the fact is, someone trained versus somebody who doesn't know shit. It's amazing the skill gap between not knowing jack shit and being moderately trained. Everybody thinks, I just see red, bruh. I see red. That stuff wouldn't work on me. That's like the attitude of every douchebag that comes in. And, basically, you let them gas out in 20, 30 seconds, and then you drown them. I smother them sometimes. I know it's mean as shit, but, like, whenever somebody comes in getting aggressive, like, like I got to worry about them popping me in the nose with the elbow or something because they're being jerky and stuff. Let them gas out, and I'm taking their back. And instead of putting them in a choke, I'll take my hand, put it over their face. Now, I learned this from Paulo Santana, my coach. He tortured me with this shit. He'd put one foot in the hip, and he'd take the other leg. So one foot would go in the hip, and the other leg traps the arm. So this arm, one arm is trapped. So one arm is trapped by a leg. You've only got this one arm to work with. So, but I've got both my hands to work with because one of my legs is trapping one of their arms. So I'll use one hand and I'll reach under, grab the wrist, and I'll use the other hand. And that is the worst thing. With a blood choke, you can put somebody out in 8 to 10 seconds. Gene LaBelle, Judo Gene LaBelle, who was in the first televised MMA fight ever against a boxer named Milo Savage, said, I beat any martial artist ass. That stuff's all fake. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff was bullshit. Ed Parker called Judo Gene LaBelle. He'd had, he'd had sparring rounds with Sugar Ray. Oh, whoops, gotta press this. We're good, though. He got his ass whooped, but he got in there and he sparred with him. Didn't get knocked out. He took this boxer down. He had brass knuckles on. You could see his belt getting ripped to pieces. Judo Gene LaBelle, that's a bad motherfucker. Allegedly, he might have put Steven Seagal out. He might have used a toilet on himself. That's what's said to happen. Because Gene LaBelle was a stunt man. Okay, Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Gene LaBelle, I think that's who they were trying to make him be. Gene LaBelle's a bad motherfucker, okay? You know, he taught Bruce Lee a good bit of grappling. Now, he has this thing where he'll give you a patch. It says, I got choked out by Gene LaBelle, but you gotta let him choke you unconscious. And when you go unconscious, usually 5 to 8 seconds all it takes for him to put somebody out. He has somebody at the cup of water. He throws it on so it looks like you pissed yourself. Yeah, that's some funny stuff, man. He passed away, you know, sad, but it's a bad dude, man. Oh, man. I mean, you look at that era. I mean, it's crazy. Now, it's new age. That show you got to watch people. Like, look at Israel Adesanya. I mean, you saw him out and you lift away stuff you didn't watch MMA. You wouldn't think of him as a threatening dude. That dude will destroy you. Oh my God, he embarrass you. Embarrass you. Now, back in the early days, you had Don Fry, Dan Severn, these big old 280-pound men, leathery face, you know, hard-working mothers with the big old mustache. As a bad motherfucker. Now, he beat up on Horace Gracie for 17 minutes. That was a bad fight. Now, you know, Gracie, some people have some stuff, you know, against some, and there is some douchey stuff with some of them. But that fight, it was like, I think it was like 17 minutes. It might have been more than that. Horace was getting his ass kicked. Got a triangle choke on Dan Severn, who outweighed him by over 100 pounds. Tapped him out. Horace Gracie from his back tapped out Aki Bono, who weighed about 600 pounds. He had a 600-pound man on top of him. He weighed 170 pounds and he tapped him out. Yeah, this shit was pretty fucking amazing. Yeah, I want to learn jiu-jitsu. Teach me what that little tan motherfucker over there. Teach me that shit. That's a 600-pound man on top of him. That guy tapped out. He's gonna break his fucking arm. Yeah, that made me want to learn it. Ryan Hall, I watched him on when I was in prison. That made me want to learn too. You know, but you know, you have a little bit of something everywhere. You know, so that way you can beat whoever you're going against. You got something for. I'm moderately good at each: judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, and not the great, but the pro gym. You know, in judo, I'm good on the ground because of the jiu-jitsu. In jiu-jitsu, I'm good at the standing because of judo. In boxing, I don't have a cross-training advantage. I just get fucked up. Scott Sigmund, man, he's fought Roy Jones and Kelly Pavlik, okay? These young pros are savages. I'm starting a channel for them in November, and I'm going to be rings. I'm going to get these fights on. It's going to be good. Now, Southpaw Promotions, if you look up Owen Hilton, spelled with the Y, he's 5 or 6-1. He avenged his only loss. And then Austin Deanda, 9-0 with 6 knockouts. That's Scott Sigmund. That's 2 of his best. They're kids. They were having rough lives in the street, doing crazy stuff. You know, Owen had a tragic story. I'll get him on here one day. Whenever I start that channel, yeah, it's going to be more than just, you know, about, you know, boxing. It's going to be these guys' stories, you know, because this is keeping them from the shit that I got into. And Scott loves me, man, my stories, man. He, as soon as I walk in the boxing gym, somebody ain't never met, tell him about Big Midget's pink sock. And I'm like, oh, shit. My friend Antonio Boone, that was the nickname he went by. He had a prolapsed butthole, so, you know, went inside out from hemorrhoids. Is terrible, terrible situation. Tragic. He was in the bedroom with this girl when it happened. Awful stuff. That's the worst time for that to happen. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm getting ready to go on that live right now. My judo coach's daughter. Please subscribe to her channel. It would mean a shit ton to me. Please. I mean, if okay, you know, just to sell you on it, you know, I tell you about Tark and all this stuff. She's a good-looking kid. She's got music videos on there. Okay, she's a good-looking kid. Got music videos. Don't like her singing? Just go on there and watch her or whatever. You know, go on there, subscribe to her. Okay, we'll get her numbers up. She's got talent. Okay, you know that Whitney Houston shit. We're like, with a rumble, but then they go hee hee hee. All that shit. I can't do it. I can't make those fucking noises. You know, the only thing I can do is imitate Michael Jackson. Blanket and hee hee. You know, I can do that shit, but yeah, I can't fucking sing shit. You know, I can do some voices. I'll make you laugh with that. But anyway, that's it for this one. I know I've rambled a bit. going to get back with the workouts and everything else tomorrow. I'm going to judo in the morning, so I got to go to bed. I can't stay up all night on this live. I'm fucking exhausted. I've stayed up till like 4 in the morning talking to those motherfuckers 3 nights in a row. I can't believe I've done that. I stayed up that late in like 4 years. I lay in bed just looking at the ceiling trying to fall back asleep. Listen, I'm boring this bitch right now. That's it. Hope you liked it.